Alright, so as stated, the looping statements within PHP system and many other programming languages come with the useful little things you can include known as break and continue. To start this off, I've made two new files in your looping folder of GogPHP named break and continue.php. We're going to open up break firstly, and I'd just like you to see an example of some code I'll put out here. Let's make a variable called weight, and I'll put my weight is 159. And then we're going to do a standard while, and this while will contain a while weight is less than 180. Weight will add, increment by 1, and this will symbolize eating a burger, perhaps. So as long as I'm under 180 pounds, I'll eat a burger constantly. I'll loop a burger in my stomach. But at the same time, I'm going to put an if. And yes, you can do this. You can put ifs and do whatever you want in a while loop, theoretically. There's probably limitations if you look hard enough, but just for your level, here you go. We'll put while weight is, or if weight is greater than 172. And all of this is kind of pointless in nature. I just want to show the power of a break. Let's echo here, breaking out of loop. And to do a break, you simply write the word break followed by the semicolon. Because it is a statement, it has nothing else with it. And what a break does is, like I said, in the if unit, or conditional operators and conditional statements, I put a break in because I forgot that although I'm including it in an if statement here, it can really only be used in a loop. So a while loop, for example, a do while, any of the loops we've discussed, including for each, which is coming up, a break can be used, but it can't be used in just a standalone if statement. That doesn't work. So keep that in mind. That was a little error on my part, and I realized that when I was coding in C a bit later in the day. So break. What this is going to do is it's going to say, oh, look at it, it's greater than 172. It'll echo breaking out of the loop, and then it'll literally just say, whoa, stop right there. Even if weight is still less than 180, it's just going to ditch that whole concept and move on, forget it ever happened. And just to prove my point even more, I'll put my weight is currently concatenate weight, and we'll do a break tag in HTML, and I'll go check here. If I've done this correctly, as I showed here when I was practicing, my weight is currently 160, it goes upward, and then hits 173 and says breaking out of loop. Notice it doesn't continue to 180. And this is because, well, it's quite logical now. The weight is greater than 172. Once it hits 173, so it does echo 173, because that's how the condition is. It'll echo breaking out. It breaks. It no longer executes this anymore. And if we were to write this down here, continuation of code after the while loop broke. And we'll put that down there. This should echo after everything. There you go. Breaking out of loop, continuation of code. So this whole loop is just ditched, and this bottom area down here is echoed. And no matter how deep you are in a loop, if you put break, you'll just break out of the whole loop, the whole nest. If you have loops inside of each other, with that work, you just break out of them. That's how they function. Keep in mind, you don't have to put break only in an if statement inside of a loop. Anywhere in the loop you want, you can break out of it. It's just an additional little feature. And keep in mind that using break's pointless if you're like putting it here, because you're supposed to include break when you're doing a condition, and it's an add-on little thing. I'd also like to include the fact that it can make your code look a bit messy. If for say some reason you felt the need to put break in so many places, and like I said, that probably wouldn't work and it wouldn't function properly anyway. But if your code were to get advanced and you just constantly relied on the break function, you'd be confusing other people, as they have to look through all that and understand where everything's meeting up, where the brackets are aligning, and braces and all that good stuff. So anyway, let's move on to continue. I'll show you how that works.